Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health issues. Today is going to be a quick mental health update, and I say quick because my mental health has oddly been doing really well these past, I'd say, couple years at this point. It's kind of weird thinking back about how bad my mental health has been in the relatively recent past compared to how it is now, especially considering how my health has deteriorated in that time. I would expect my mental health to have gotten worse along with my physical health, but I'd say my mental health is better than my physical health, probably for the first time in my life, which is really odd. Mental health struggles in the past have included severe depression, self-injury, OCD, anorexia, PTSD, and none of them are an issue right now. The anorexia and the OCD haven't really been an issue for well over a decade at this point, maybe closer to 20 years, really. So I don't really talk about them ever because they're such a non-issue that it's not really worth bringing up. The PTSD also isn't really an issue unless very specific things happen, and they normally don't happen in everyday life, and those things more have to do with how people are talking to me, like their intonation and stuff like that. It used to happen more regularly when I was working at one of my jobs and I was doing like cold calls and people would get angry. That would trigger more just like an anxiety response, not like flashbacks or anything. But the job I have now, the 1099, even though I'm still making cold calls, people haven't really been the same level as angry. Or at all, really. Like, no one's yelled at me or anything, so I haven't really had practice dealing with that particular trigger, and in my day-to-day life, no one's yelling at me, so it's not really an issue. There are times of the year where I will have bad dreams, which I separate from sort of like nightmares, because a bad dream is just that, it's just a bad dream. I wake up and I'm like, oh, that was a bad dream, like, it's fine. Versus a nightmare, when I wake up, I sort of have like a dream hangover, if you will. I just sort of feel more like depressed, but not anywhere near where it was. And I'm aware of those times of year, and as soon as it happens, like once or twice, I normally check the calendar and I'm like, oh, it's that time of year again, and sort of make more of an effort to like soothe myself more, like do more for myself during the day, and the dreams stop. So that's the PTSD isn't really an issue anymore. The self-injury hasn't been an issue for years at this point either, which is really good, obviously. Then the depression was the thing that was sort of holding on the most, and I'd say it's been a good at least 2 years since I'd consider that I had a severe depression, where the first thought when I woke up and the last thought before I went to bed was that I did not want to be alive, and that hasn't happened in multiple years at this point. So that's been doing really well also, and I chalk that up to having actual friends locally, friends that I'm talking to regularly on the internet, and these are friends that I know in person. They're not just internet friends, but they're like actual friends that we've hung out before in person. I know them, so that's really nice. And it's been so good that we've actually decreased my antidepressant, which I can't ever remember doing before. There's definitely been times that I've stopped the antidepressant, not necessarily when things were going well, not just because I felt like stopping, but I don't remember it ever really lasting a long time. And this is the first time where I had told my psych NP that if I sort of stayed stable for a year, I would consider decreasing the antidepressant. And I think it's been about 2 years because I just didn't trust it because it's never happened before. And then I was finally like, let's try it. And I kept the same dosage of the pill, so I'm just cutting the pill in half just in case I need to start taking a whole one again. And that has not happened. It's been at least a month, maybe 2 months since the decrease, and things are pretty much the same. Nothing really changed. I might have been a little more depressed when I first started decreasing it, but I would have to go back and check the calendar because that also might have been a time of year where that just happens anyway, so probably wasn't the best time to decrease it. But there's a lot of times during the year where I struggle more, so it's good to see what happens during those times of years, being on a lower dose of the antidepressant. And so far so good. I did have some side effects of decreasing it. The antidepressant I take is Vibrid or vilazodone, and if I'm too late taking the dose, I itch. I looked it up when it first happened, and apparently it's a thing. So when I first decreased the dose, I was itchy for like a few hours after taking it. It normally sort of stops after a little bit, and now it's just the same. Like if I have to take it with food, and if I eat later than I did the day before, then I start itching. It happened last night. I didn't eat until super late, and I started itching. I was like, why am I so itchy all of a sudden? And then I'm like, oh, I haven't taken my meds with food, so I haven't taken my Vibrid. And once I took it, it was fine. But that's really the update. There's not a lot going on in that arena for once, which is, like I said, it's very weird. I've been severely depressed for the majority of my life, including childhood. So to not be is very weird, and it did take me a while to trust it, but I do trust it now. I trust that this is just sort of how things are, which I like. It's good. I'm also sorry it's been a couple weeks. There's just nothing to really report on. The next video I'm going to try to make will be talking about sort of what I'm still struggling with on a day-to-day basis. It's not mental health. We just went through that. But I will talk more sort of in depth about what my day-to-day struggle is like, what I'm doing, if anything, for the day-to-day struggle, and sort of those type of things. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day, whenever it is you are seeing this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.